I-86 After Dark recommends simply the best cleaning services. Call 716-912-6940. Western New York's cleaning and restoration leader. From Buffalo to Long Island, this is I-86 After Dark.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to I-86 After Dark. And today is October 8th. It is Wednesday night. I am your host, Buffalo Bob, and I have my co-host, Mr. Damian Mickrot, a.k.a. The Great Dame. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, Bobby. I mean, how was your week?
Long. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I got a lot of shit going on in my life. I mean, doing interviews for future episodes for the show, and then, packing for this weekend to go to Atlanta with my wife, and so on and so forth. But you know what? At the end of the day, life's been good so far.
Yeah, it was a depressing week here in Buffalo after that loss on Sunday, but, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Absolutely. But you know what, though? I think it's only fair because we are here tonight. Something else came up in my life, and I want to share it with everybody, and I think you guys deserve to know it. So without further ado, I'm going to play a little clip that my wife and I put together, and here we go.
So I know the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I know that because my husband and I said that when the Bills win the Super Bowl, we're going to jump through tables to celebrate. And of course, they would pick the year where I can't jump through a table. Go Bills.
That's right. I'm going to be a dad.
Congratulations, man. She's got you for 18 years now, like Kanye said.
Oh, God damn it. Just the irony behind that is just delicious. But, yeah, no, man. I'm very excited. If you want to know, we are 17 to 18 weeks in already. And you know what? If you want to know what I'm having, we're having a boy.
I bet you're thrilled about that.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I think regardless, I'm happy with whatever we got, whether it was a boy or a girl. We did have names picked out for both genders, so it worked with whatever we got, but I'm very happy with the end result. So yes. I wanted to throw that out there real quick because I finally was able to get permission from my wife to announce it to everybody. So I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, man, I'm all for it. So I'm ready for fatherhood, and it'll be due in March of 2026. So that's going to be fun.
Nice. So you're just starting out with parenthood coming up here, and I'm about to get my kids out of the house soon. They actually both got jobs this week. So that was crazy. My son, who's 15, Ethan, got a job soccer refereeing, and my daughter, who's 16, Quinn, got a job at KFC Taco Bell.
Ooh, okay. That's not terrible. That's not terrible at all, actually.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's a nice little startup job for both of them, honestly. I mean, good for them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep sucking me dry, so, I'm glad that they're out there earning some money now.
You want to know the name of my son?
Absolutely.
His name is going to be Maverick Matthew Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
Like Goose and Maverick from Top Gun.
I thought it was going to be Josh Allen.
No. Nah. Although Josh Allen Hansen would be cool, but nah, we're not going to do that. But Maverick was always a name that my wife and I loved very much when we were a little younger because we've been together for 11 years. So that was something we both really liked when we were younger. Yeah. So
yeah, I like the unique names. The unique names are pretty cool. So.
Well, yeah, and names like Barbara are slowly making a comeback for women, surprisingly. I've also seen the names like Arya Stark, come up lately for girls' names. I've also seen the names Jacob and Sebastian coming up, which I think is pretty uncommon as well.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
Absolutely. So I'm very happy with it in general, though.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're going to be raising them a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yes. Bills fan, Islander fan, and Mets fan.
Nice.
But they do have free will. If they don't like any of those teams, they can root for whoever they want, except like the AFC East teams and the Rangers.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, and the Yankees. The Yankees too. But yeah, so I just wanted to come out and like say that, So
yeah, no, congratulations. But speaking about the Bills, let's get into the Bills.
Absolutely.
This week.
Oh my God, we have to.
No, we don't want to.
But we have to.
I hate to say I did call it on the previous episodes where I said they're going to lose one of these games to either New England, Miami, or the Jets.
You did call that.
Hopefully, this is the one game.
It's better now to get it over with than later in the year when it actually matters. You know what I mean? Like,
it is. But they were running away with the division. And now there's one loss. Now New England's in it. I don't think they'll be in it towards the end, but now they're in the conversation, though.
They are in the conversation, but I still think it's Buffalo's division for the taking because let's be honest with ourselves. Buffalo did that to themselves because if they were to win that game against the Patriots, and a lot of people felt they were going to win at the end because they were starting to pick up the strides, a lot of people said that Buffalo was going to win that division, by Sunday. But listen, I don't mind the division being competitive, but it's good for the division because if you go back the last 15, 20 years, the Patriots were always, the runner-ups, the unanimous favorites in the AFC East for many, many years with Tom Brady and all those guys. Now it's almost the same thing here with the Bills. It's like, well, they're going to win it unanimously at this point. Like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. The easiest thing to get into the playoffs is just by winning the division. But on that end of the spectrum, though, I have to give the Pats credit because Drake May, I've always said I like Drake May as a quarterback, but he played a great game on Sunday. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah. Well, it took a pretty good game from May. It took a monster game from Diggs. And it also took the Bills turning the ball over 3 times just to make that game close.
Yeah, no, honestly, that was just disgusting. The fact that the Bills had so many sloppy plays going on in that game just utterly pissed me off. And I've seen a lot of comments over the week where things were like, oh, the rivalry jerseys, that it's in fault because they lost. And I'm like, what does the rivalry jersey have anything to do with how they played? Even if they wore the normal blue jersey.
I still can't wear that Stadium Series jersey since the Islanders choked to the Rangers.
Yeah, the one that says Isles on it.
Just Isles on it.
The orange pattern.
So, yeah. The jersey's hot looking. I hope it doesn't disappear because of this loss. I don't think it will. But, it does have a stink on it now.
It does, but I remember when you said last week that, they might fall to one of the 3 teams in the AFC East. You were right, and, spot on that. I'll give you credit for that. But I think this was considered the trap game that a lot of people were saying about the Bills. You're better off just getting over with it now. But I also expect it to be competitive because, for one, it is a division rivalry. So it's not like it's, we're going to go take down the Browns, something like that, or take down the Jets, and, by unanimous, points. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do that. It's more of the idea that, hey, we could still be competitive, but it's not going to be easy. And the Pats are getting better. But I think that whole game was turned into a big nothing with this narrative that's been going around about Stephon Diggs saying that this was a revenge game for him. Like, the only revenge here for him was his own narcissism and his own arrogance for that game.
Oh, absolutely. And I still think this is the Bills' division to lose. They're not going to play New England in New England and until December, and like mid-December. And I don't think New England's going to be even in contention for the AFC East at that point.
I disagree because if you look at the Patriots' schedule, it is a cupcake schedule all the way through. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm. I did. The Bills is pretty easy though too.
until like after week 9. And then they play teams like the Eagles, the Buccaneers. The Bengals might even be competitive because they got.
Because they got Joe Flacco, man. They're coming up now.
Oh yeah, no, that was fucking abysmal. Considering that was the best Cincinnati could do at that point. You could have got Jameis Winston, you could have got Russell Wilson, but nope, they wanted Joe fucking Flacco. It's fuck you and everyone else, you know.
Mm-hmm. But I say that the biggest concerns though with the Bills after that game. Again, and these are two of my favorite players. I actually own 2 Bills jerseys, and they are Trey White and Matt Milano. And both of them just seem to be a shell of what they used to be. Milano can't stay healthy, and White is just a step behind now. And I want to know how concerned you are with those 2 players.
Okay. So my honest to God opinion is I love Matt Milano. He's a Long Island boy. But here's the thing. Matt Milano is 31 years old. He's not getting younger. And he's already had major injuries throughout his career. He tore his ACL. He tore his bicep. He has a pec injury, not once but twice this year. The dude is made of glass. He's a Pro Bowl linebacker, but he can never stay healthy. And that's a big problem for, the Bills moving forward because you can't just have Terrell Bernard do the entire thing by himself. So what the Bills need to do is they're going to have to probably cut their ties after the season with Milano and get someone younger than him just to kind of keep up the pace. That's my opinion about it. But as for Trey White, he was basically fan service from the get-go. The minute that the Bills got Trey White back, I said, I love his personality. I love the guy. It's nostalgia. They brought it back. But is he really going to help the secondary at this point? Because the dude, just like Milano, he tore his ACL. He's had so many injuries. He tore his Achilles, and he's not what he used to be. He's a shell of his former self. And the fact that the Patriots kept attacking Tre'Davious White with Stephon Diggs was brilliant, honestly. And Stephon Diggs toyed with with Trey all night at that point. And I'm saying to myself, he's getting torched out there. And it's not even almost unfathomable at this point. The big thing, too, that's also a key is injuries because Maxwell Harrison had a high ankle sprain injury, which he's been out of football for almost 2 months. And there's speculation that he might be coming back after the bye, after the Falcons game. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out, what's Buffalo's agenda here? What's the end game? Because the only way they're going to truly fix this is if they make 2 trades. One with getting a defensive back to pair up with Tre'Davious White, and the other one would be a wide receiver. But I'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely. But, you're going to the game this week. So,
yes.
The Bills are 4.5-point favorites in Atlanta.
Yes.
So, I think that's very modest 4.5 points. I think they should cover that no problem.
There shouldn't be a problem, but here's the thing. You're going to this without Matt Milano, and you better bring up Ed Oliver. And I was talking to my wife about this. And playing the Patriots on Sunday, I said that they should sit Milano out for at least one more game, have it ready for Atlanta, and then they don't even bother. Instead of what I wanted them to do, they did the complete opposite of it. They played Milano, and now he's hurt because McDumbass decided, Milano's more ready at this point than Oliver. Ed Oliver got stepped on by his fucking horse. Why is it that, you have to play, Mr. made of glass here in Milano, and then you have Ed Oliver who has to sit out for one more game at least? Why is that such a big fucking deal in terms of stopping the run? Because the biggest issue with the Bills all season long has been able to stop the run. And the big part of it is because half of those guys have been fucking injured.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not funny. And the fact that, they go into this thinking, well, they could still win against the competition, even without Oliver, even without Milano. It's sickening because at this point, the other problem that they're running into is Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt are both, suspended for at least one more game because of their stupid, substance abuse issue that they both dealt with. Let's just sign 2 guys who deal with drugs. Why? I don't understand that. And then all of a sudden, they were out for 6 games, and then they're going to come back against the Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they went out and signed those guys either, but they needed help with that defense this year.
I will say there is a bright side, and that is Joey Bosa has been phenomenal with the Bills.
He's been good. He's been very good. He's been very good.
Yeah, no, I'm not doubting that one bit because, honestly, I love that, Joey Bosa, knock on wood, has been healthy all year long, and then he's killing it. He's killing it with a really good defensive core with the Bills. They just need to get healthy. That's when the bye week comes in. Get those guys healthy and then make a deep push in the playoffs in the second half of the year.
Well, I got a question for you, though, Buffalo Bob. Was that you in the Milano jersey that ran away with the Josh Allen football that went in the stands?
No, that wasn't me. I mean, if that was, I probably would have lost 40 pounds by that point.
I mean, a lot of people were talking about it and being like, "Oh, why did he leave the game?" I'm like, the NFL is not like baseball. Like, you can keep a baseball, you can't keep a football. The NFL wants those footballs back. So he caught that pass from Josh Allen and ran out of there.
He knew. Same thing in the NHL. It's not like you could just bring home a puck.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Same fucking deal. So enough of my misery. How about the Giants?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, we were just talking about the Bills and their 3 turnovers. The Giants said, "Hold my beer. We're going to go with 5 turnovers in this game." After starting the first 2 drives with touchdowns, it looked like it was going to be a great day again. And then they went, I think it was punt, fumble, interception in the last 6 drives.
And you wonder why.
And that was the end of the game. So.
And you wonder why the Giants are such a mess.
Yeah, no, I don't wonder. I mean, it was nice. It was nice, living the high life for like a week. And then now we're back to reality again. Scatterboo had that horrible fumble. They ran it back 86 yards for the TD, and that was just about game. And now the next 3 games, they got the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Eagles again. So I don't really see us winning. We're 8.5-point underdogs against the Eagles coming up.
Well, let me ask you this: how do you feel about Jackson Dart? What's your faith tone on the Giants this year?
Jackson Dart's fine. I mean, he's still a young quarterback, like Josh Allen used to. He relies a lot on his legs, a little too much. He's good with his first read, and then if that first read is covered, now he's looking to run instead of checking down or looking at his second read or third read option. So he's still got some learning to do. And he's just relying too much on his legs. But hopefully, usually it comes to a couple hits before you got to realize, okay, maybe I need to tone it down a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, honestly, man, I want the Giants to be good. I want them to be competitive, but it's kind of hard to do when your biggest rival is your bitch right now. And I think that Philly's not going to make this even. It's not going to make it easy by any means. But even in their own right, the Eagles are not very good either this year. I mean, they're definitely not what they were like a year ago when they won the Super Bowl.
We do got a comment here from Ed Blazak. It was a good week. Time to get back to working on that high draft pick. I got to agree with Ed because that's all we're looking for the Giants. We want that high draft pick again.
Yes, you do. You're going to need Jesus. I promise you that. You're going to need Jesus.
I don't even know if he would help as much at this point.
Oh, you're going to have
only one person.
You're going to have to count your blessings, man. But, in general, though, the Saints are not good. We already knew that. But so you have no faith, like not even a 1% chance of your own team with with the schedule coming up? Because you said you're playing Philly twice, and you're playing the Broncos, you said?
Broncos right in the middle of them. So, no, it's an 0-3. It's 0-3 for sure.
Oh, God.
We were looking for a 2-game winning streak with the Saints here, and we couldn't even do that because of 5 turnovers. It's just, if you go back to Dable's first year when he was here with the Giants and the Giants made the playoffs in Dable's first year, the Giants led the league in the least amount of turnovers that season. But since then, they've been in like the top 5 almost every year in turnovers.
Which is abysmal.
Mm-hmm. You can't win. You just can't win. And that's what happened with the Bills this week. You had 3 turnovers. It's almost impossible to win.
Yeah, no. You're not going to be able to win that battle every week and just expect everything to just be all hunky-dory. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at the Bills schedule, they have the Falcons coming up, which I'll be there for Road to 32 on Monday Night Football. And then they have the bye week. Then they play the Panthers in week 8, which I'll also be there for. And then week 9 at home in Buffalo against the Kansas City Chiefs, which is doable. Because let's be honest, I'm going to confess something, and it's not even a crime. I am so fucking happy that the Chiefs lost this week because I honestly feel so much fucking better about that loss to the Patriots because KC lost.
Well, I think most people are excited about that loss outside of KC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think of like the prospect of this is that the Chiefs are 2-3. You get humiliated in Jacksonville, and you play the Lions at Arrowhead Stadium. And Detroit is now starting to turn it around. And here I thought the Lions were going to take a huge step back because of, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson departing to go someplace else. I thought Detroit was just going to be, below average. But no, they proved me wrong so far. And they're going to go to Arrowhead, and I firmly think they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And if they do that by any means necessary, all of Western New York will be beyond happy because I'm going to say this now. The Bills, there is no fucking excuse with them this year because the Chiefs are 2-3, the Ravens are 1-4, the Bengals are 1-4, and they've humiliated themselves with getting Joe Flacco. And then you have the Colts and then the Chargers. The Chargers are even starting to blow up.
The league is right for the picking. It's right for the picking this year.
Exactly. So at this point, I'm almost in a way expecting Buffalo to turn their shit around and, stay in first place throughout the entire year. Like right now, I think Indianapolis is in that spot, but Indianapolis has an easy schedule. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Daniel Jones is elite because let's be honest, that dude got picked on the moment he was picked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thought process behind all of it. But if KC goes 2-4 by Monday morning, I'll be the happiest guy in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, Daniel Jones is starting for my fantasy team this week, so
Danny
I'll
Dimes.
Take those
Well, do you call him Danny Dimes or do you call him Indiana Jones?
I don't know. Danny Dime, I guess. Danny Penny.
Danny Penny. I like that. It's different. I like that. But,
well, speaking of quarterbacks in the former quarterbacks in the league in New York, what do you think about Sanchez?
Oh, God. Mark Sanchez. I forgot about Sanchez. Honestly, I look at that and I'm like, the fuck is going on here? So, I look at that situation and I'm saying to myself, shit, what did he do this time to get himself in trouble? But we're reading to you guys, for those who don't know, that in the audience, Mark Sanchez was arrested on Friday last week for battery with an injury and unlawful entry of a motor vehicle and public intoxication stemming from an incident in which he was stabbed that morning in Indianapolis. And the police issued the following statement, quote, after further investigation and following consultation with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, the IMPD arrests 38-year-old Mark Sanchez for his alleged role in this incident, and Sanchez was arrested at the hospital for battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication, all of which are misdemeanors. All involved parties have been identified, and no further individuals are being sought by detectives. And Sanchez, to this day, is still in the hospital and has not been booked into the adult detention center, and the Marion County's prosecutor's office will make the final charging decisions, and an arrest is merely an accusation, and Sanchez should be considered innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law, end quote.
Just an unbelievable story. When I first heard it, it's like, well, first of all, please drink responsibly. You're a former NFL player, and you're that out of, and you're on TV. He landed a great cushy job with Fox after his playing career, and now that's probably going to be all up in smoke after this. And I don't know. I mean, he's probably not looking at any prison time, which is probably good since his nickname is Butt Fumble. But you know, they're going to be coming after that quarterback money he got from the NFL, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, any way is possible at that point, but Mark Sanchez is quite the story. I mean, first it was, oh, no, he got stabbed. And then, like, 2 hours later, fuck, I'm in cuffs.
Yeah, that's how quickly it escalates when you're drinking like that.
Yeah.
But there is another comment here again. Patriots probably going to win the next 7 games. Can we keep pace? So it looks like Ed agrees with you.
Yeah, I think they can keep the pace because here's the thing. The Bills' big key right now is consistency. Everybody has their off days. We're all human at the end. But the Bills, and I've said this last week on the show, and Damien called it out. He said, well, they're probably going to lose to one of the 3 AFC East teams, whether it's the Pats or the Jets or the Dolphins. He said one of them is going to give the Bills a run for their money. And the Patriots are always been the ones that come up the most. And I feel like everybody, they're the ones that put up the most of a fight, which I'm fine with that because the Patriots are always been draining for an identity. And it's like ever since Tom Brady left, they've always been saying, this guy will be our quarterback. This guy will be our quarterback. They go from like Mac Jones to Joe Milton, to Bailey Zappi, to Cam Newton. How many shitty quarterbacks did the Pats go through? And then all of a sudden, Drake May played the best game of his career so far on prime time against the Buffalo Bills. And next thing you know, everyone's praising him like, oh, the Patriots are back on the map. I'm like, relax. It's one fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you don't need to tell me that as a Giants fan. I know what that was last week.
Well, you already know that too, because
they're not even close to how many shitty quarterbacks Cleveland Browns have had. So,
oh God, yeah, no, we definitely got to talk about that. But there actually is a story I forgot to write in the notes, but I want to hear what your opinion is about it.
Okay.
Did you hear about the story with Mac Jones?
No, I have not.
Apparently, he was portraying the little kid from the movie The Sixth Sense.
Oh yes, I did. Okay, I did hear this story.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, because we do have people watching, we appreciate you very much for listening in and tuning us in live. So the story is that Mac Jones saw a floating dead body while at the team hotel in Marina del Rey on Thursday morning last week. And that morning, they said, I quote, that morning at the team hotel in Marina del Rey, Jones told teammates that he was in his balcony when he looked out at the water and saw a floating dead body. Someone called the police as the 49ers loaded buses for the stadium. I think they were playing the Rams. Players watched investigators and even the coroner's van pull into the marina. And on Friday afternoon, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said the incident was still under investigation, and that's how the quarterback for San Francisco started his day, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic.
So let me get this straight. Mac Jones can see dead people, but he can't see an open receiver.
Pretty much. That was good. I like that. That was good. But yeah, no, you're not wrong about that. So you can see bodies before you can see people down the field. But Mac Jones beat the fucking Rams.
He did.
Mac
Believe
Jones.
me, I think I had the Rams defense in fantasy. Got me negative points.
That doesn't help.
I know, it doesn't help at all.
No, it should never help. But here we are on a Wednesday evening before, like a week prior to that game. Shit, here we go. That's all I imply it as, you know? It's like, fuck, man. But what are you going to do, you know?
I think we're pretty much all wrapped up with football talk. But I know you had another announcement.
Well, I do, but not quite, because there's still the Joe Flacco trade. But we also had another trade that happened over the week. I don't know if you saw that one. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Odafe Oweh was traded from the Baltimore Ravens to the Los Angeles Chargers. What do you think?
I mean, it's good for the Chargers. I don't think they really gave up much to get him, which was kind of shocking.
Yeah, no.
I'm not really sure what Baltimore is doing this year, especially since their defense has not looked fantastic.
Yeah, no. So for the context of the trade, Odafe Oweh was traded to LA in exchange for safety Alohi Gilman, and there was also a swap of picks in the trade as well.
Mm-hmm. And this was to replace Khalil Mack, who's on IR right now with the Chargers, which I didn't even know he was with the Chargers.
You didn't know Khalil Mack was on the Chargers?
I didn't know.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, he's been on LA for like 3 years now, 2 years, 3 years, somewhere between that line. But no, it's all good. But Khalil Mack is a stud. But I think the Chargers wanted to bolster up. Like, I don't view him as the replacement for Khalil Mack. I see him as the replacement for Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
See that.
Yeah, because Bosa, he was a beast in LA, but he was always hurt. But the Ravens, with them imploding, which I never thought in a million years the Ravens would be the ones in a soap opera this year, not the fucking Steelers.
Yeah, well, that's what makes that opening week win against the Ravens not as impressive anymore by the Bills.
No. I mean, at that time, they did have Lamar, they did have King Henry, and the Ravens did that to themselves. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, that was just a joke, because Buffalo was down by 15 at that time.
No, they were down by 15 late and came back. So it was still an incredible effort.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So before we get to the big announcement that Damien was saying before, just a quick note, Road to 32 will be taking place on Friday. I will be traveling to Atlanta, Georgia for the Monday night game against the Atlanta Falcons at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. So I am very excited to go there, and I will be documenting my journey in the Peach State. So I'm very, very excited, and you guys will find out when that episode comes out. It'll take me a little while, but if you're interested in seeing it, make sure you put on notifications and give us a like and subscribe. And it'll be up and running on YouTube. You'll see.
What are you looking forward to the most down there?
Well, for me, I'm looking forward to just seeing a different city, because I have been to the South. Because I said last week that I've been to Tennessee, I've been to Florida, I've been to North Carolina, but I've never been to like Atlanta or just Georgia in general. I've drove over to the border of Georgia for like a temporary stop at like a pit drive for Cracker Barrel. But other than that... Yeah, Cracker Barrel. Okay. Yeah.
Now, I've been to Atlanta once. We went to Coca-Cola World, CNN. We saw Centennial Park from the Atlanta Olympics. And then we went to Stone Mountain, we spent the whole day at Stone Mountain. That was fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah. But for me, my wife and I are going into the Coca-Cola factory. We're doing the College Football Hall of Fame. We're also going to be doing the Fernstone, or I forget what it's called, something of natural history in Atlanta. So that's part of a city pass that we bought for like $200. So it gets us access. We're also going to like the zoo and the aquarium. So you'll see pictures. I promise you that.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, as many of you know, the big announcement is this. As you know, last week we had Gil Martin on the show. We did a separate interview with him. So, if you haven't seen that episode, check that out. It was a really fun time. Me and Tom Bujak, my co-host, interviewed Gil Martin from Locked On Islanders. He was a great host, on the show with us, and he was very detailed about what he does. And Damien is an everyday listener as well as I am. So, if you're interested in hearing what he has to say, give them a listen. But for this week, I'm going to do something else for you guys. I'm going to give you 3 guesses, and if you guys can think of who it is in the comment section or leave a comment, we'll read it out loud about who the next guest is, and we'll reveal who it is in a little bit. So here's your first guess. Your first guess is that he played for the Buffalo Bills, Your second guess is that he's a former defensive tackle, and he was the right-hand man for Bruce Smith in the 90s. And he won 2 Super Bowls later in his career with the Denver Broncos. That's what you're getting. So if you happen to know who this is, leave it in the comment section. I'm curious what you guys think. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be sending you to our sponsors. And from there, we'll see you in a little bit. And when we come back from our little break, hockey's on. What do you think, Damien?
Yeah, we're talking hockey, baby. It's that time of year.
Absolutely. So we'll be right back after these messages.
This episode of I-86 After Dark is brought to you by the Long Island Bills backers. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan living on Long Island, there's only one place to be on game day. Instant Replay in Huntington Station, New York, with 56 TVs, 4 pool tables, and an atmosphere that feels just like Orchard Park. You'll never miss a snap. Grab one of their delicious burgers, sink your teeth into their award-winning wings, or try their stacked sandwiches. There's something for everyone. So join the Long Island Bills backers this season and be part of the biggest Bills family on the island. Check out their Facebook group or just scan the QR code in our show notes to get connected. Go Bills!
Welcome back to I-86 After Dark, everybody, and thank you for joining us for those of you here in the first half. And you know what? Hockey's back, baby. That's all we can say, motherfuckers. Hockey is back.
It's the best time of year for me, man. Love it.
Absolutely. And you're going to be pretty damn busy pretty early on. What did you say, Mr. McRutt?
Very, very busy. Like I said, I run the Buffalo New York Islanders meetup, so we got one already set on the schedule for October 25th.
Ooh.
So come on down to Buffalo Old Brewing. Details are on our Facebook page at Buffalo Isles Meetups, and also on X Twitter at Buffalo_Isles Meetups.
Yep, definitely. I forgot to put a graph on that. My apologies.
So, yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Yeah, we should have it by next week, I promise, or the next show, or whatever.
I'll hold you to it.
Absolutely. So what do you think, man? You excited? It's like you said you have a game already played out for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, as an Islander fan, our expectations are always tempered. We want to get off to a good start. We haven't got off to a good start in the last couple of years, so a good start would be key. Unfortunately, the first 2 games we're playing, Pittsburgh, Washington, always seem to give us fits, so we'll see how that goes.
I mean, usually that's how it's supposed to work. Pittsburgh, I think they could beat Pittsburgh. They usually play pretty competitively against the Pens. I mean, the Islanders have been kicking their ass in the last couple of years, including the playoffs. So there's a bit of a picky-back situation in that for that specifics. The Caps, again, I think the Caps, based on last year, could very well be a fluke for all we know.
It could be. I don't think they're going to be a fluke for some reason. They do have a pretty good young nucleus. I mean, not counting Alex Ovechkin, of course. But Pittsburgh already got a game under their belt, and they shut out the Rangers yesterday. So that's always great news for us. And this is the Islanders' first game. So I'm a little worried about that because Pittsburgh already got a game under their belt.
They do, but again, it's only one game. I mean, even if they lose, it's not the end of the world. There's still 81 games after Thursday.
Oh, no. It's always the end of the world to Islander fans. You should know that already.
Oh, yeah. I've been drawn into this shit for a long time.
We lose to Pittsburgh, and then the next game is going to be a must-win against Washington already.
Yeah, no. But, I will say that the Islanders are probably going to be looking a little bit different this year, with the free agent signings. And what's sad, too, is that I've already heard people say that Drouin's going to be a bust, and he hasn't even played a shift on the New York Islanders yet.
Yeah, I don't really buy much into that. I do like the free agent signings that Darsh has made. I'm really excited to see Schaefer play, even if it's only going to be 9 games, but I think it's going to be longer. But he'll at least get the 9-game start, and then the Islanders can make a decision. I don't really think it's going to be based on his play, like I told you before. I think it's going to be more based on the Islanders' record after those first 9 games. If they start 2-7 or 3-6, I think that may be a determinant factor to send him back to juniors.
It could be, but I'm almost thinking that if Matthew Schaefer's, because he has said since he got drafted that he did not want to go back down to juniors, he wanted to spend it with the New York Islanders. And I think he's going to make it a lot tougher on them than it actually has to be.
And he should. I think that he's got a great head on him. Speed, skating, something the Islanders never have. It's just incredible. I'm just so excited to see him just flying around the ice, and put him with Barzal. Woo! And I can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. But you know what though, I will say I agree with you with having Schaefer paired with Barzal and all that, and having I think if I'm not mistaken, he's being paired up with Bo Horvat also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Schaefer's going to be on the third pair, I think, with Mayfield. And then Barzal, I think is going to be second line center. Horvat's first, but that might change going into the season because then you might see Barzal back on the wing again. But we'll see. They have a glutton of centers right now, unfortunately, and the only reason that they're all still playing center is because Cal Ritchie is starting on the IR to begin the season. And when he gets back, he's probably being sent to Bridgeport for at least a conditioning stint.
I mean, it's not a long stay as far as like IR is concerned.
No, it's they said 1 to 2 weeks.
I mean, that's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's just disappointing because he has such a good camp, and he's a young player that we wanted to see. We wanted to see a youth injection in this team. And unfortunately, we're not going to see that for, I'm going to guess, probably the first month of the season.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say at this point, we're probably going to see Cal Ritchie probably towards the end of the month. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to agree with you on that, but we're probably going to see him in between like late October to early November. Probably around the time I go to North Carolina is probably where we're probably going to see him.
Yeah, we'll see him sooner than later. I mean, as far as other players like Varlamov, I don't know if we'll ever see him again. I have no idea what's going on with him. So the Islanders are starting with Dave Rittich as their backup. Big save Dave. Yep. So he's up and down. So hopefully he could do a spot start here and there so we don't burn out Sorokin again.
Oh, God, I hope they don't do that because I always say this, is that I think Lou put the team in a really bad position when he was here. And with all the contracts he gave out to guys like, Varley and Anders Lee, JG Pajot, and totally unnecessary contracts, Pierre Engvall, those guys did not deserve the long-term contracts. I mean, they've aged horribly, but at least 2 of them are pretty much off the books after this coming year. So at least if the Islanders are not competing, they can at least use Pajot and Lee as leverage in a trade, kind of like last year with Brock Nelson.
Mm-hmm. What's nice is they have overabundance of forwards now, so there's going to be competition for the first time in years for these positions. So I think in years past, these guys got very comfortable.
They did
with where they were and knew that there wasn't somebody coming up to take their spot. Well, that's not the case anymore.
No, it's a whole different ball game at this point because right now the Islanders, they're trying to get younger. They're trying to get the ickiness, I guess you could say, for a better lack of word, the ickiness away from like Lou Lamoriello's tenure. Because Lou, he was always that one guy who would always say, fuck everybody else. We need to give out long-term deals to a 35-year-old, a 37-year-old, and a 32-year-old. And it's like, fuck me. Every time I saw him do that, it made me think that they were not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, Lou, I mean, say what you want about him. He was a loyal dude, a man of his word. So it worked.
True.
Maybe back with the Devils, but I don't know. Not in the salary cap era, unfortunately.
No. Because when he was with the Devils, I don't think the league had a salary cap when he was there.
They did not.
It's kind of like baseball now. I mean, until they figure that out. But
Mm-hmm.
As far as now, I have to give Lou credit he did bring in Barry Trotz. They did go to 2 back-to-back years in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they had some pretty competitive teams. So I'm not going to sit here and just shit on Lou just because of the fact that he was able to turn a middle-of-the-road team into a competitor overnight.
Yeah, he made the Islanders relevant again.
He did.
They weren't relevant for many, many years.
Yeah, and it's funny because Tom and I talk about this all the time, and I always tell him, if they kept Barry Trotz within the 1 year that they missed the playoffs, and Lou just panicked and fired him and replaced him with Lane Lambert, and then after that was Patrick Waugh, I was saying, fuck. I mean, if they kept Barry Trotz, they wouldn't even have Patrick Waugh right now.
No, but I think I'll still take Barry Trotz.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's a given. But no, I am looking forward to the start of the year, and I can't wait to see what these guys could do together, especially with the young kids. Schaefer playing in his first 9 games and then getting a taste of the NHL right from the get-go. I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the big news for the Islanders today was they have a new sponsor on their jersey.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And people have already bitched about it.
Was it Vanda Pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, I believe that's what I was. It's funny because I remember when Flyers fans, I forget the name of their sponsor, but it's on their jersey. And people were saying that the Flyers sponsorship patch was blue. And people said, that looks fucking ugly on a Flyers jersey. Get out of there. And then they swapped it over the offseason from blue to white. People are saying about the new sponsor that, because it's green, they're like, get that shit out of here. And then gotta change the fucking collar. So I think that, they're probably going to change the color at the end of the year. But right now they're sticking with what they have, which is, bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. It's a sponsor. Give us the money.
Exactly. It is what it is, But
so, what do you think about the Sabres so far?
I don't really have a lot to say about them other than just I hope that they have a good year. Because right now, the only thing I've heard was Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was hurt. They got Colton Ellis, I believe his name is, off of waivers from the St. Louis Blues. So I don't really know. I'm not really paying attention. But as far as, Buffalo's perspective, I hope Dahlin, has a fantastic year because he is one of the best defensemen in the league in the top 10, even if it weren't for another team. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Dahlin's one of the best defensemen in the league. Tage is one of the better forwards in the league. This is Alex Tuch's final year of his contract, so the Sabres have to decide what they want to do with him. But it's not a great look going into the season with so many changes in goal already. Like you said, UPL, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is starting the season on the IR. They went and, like you said, they got Colton Ellis off waivers from St. Louis. Yeah. Honestly, didn't really know too much about him. So, and they had signed, and I know you know this name, Alexander Georgiev. He used to be on the Rangers, and they waived him already. So he's fallen off quite a bit since he finished in the top 10 in the Vienza 3 years ago.
Yeah, I figured that was the case with Buffalo, with Georgiev. That dude sucks monkey ass. Ever since he got traded from the Rangers, he just went.
Yeah, I don't
downhill.
know what happened to him.
They went to shit. But we actually have 2 comments coming in, actually, believe it or not. The first one, and they're both from Edward Vlasic. He said the first one is that, and he's just taking a guess. He's saying Doc Johnson is your next guest. It might be. A good guess. And the second one is also from Mr. Vlasic. Levi on Americans all year. See, okay, I wish Tom was here to explain this. I think if I were in Tom's shoes, I'd say yes, Levi's probably not going to stay in Rochester for all year, only because Buffalo is such an incompetent shit show, just based on the last few years. I want Levi to be good, but I don't have faith in their development. I don't have any faith. Because
but what's weird is the Rochester Americans are usually one of the better teams in the AHL
usually.
Every year. So I think what he's trying to say is you leave Levi down there because he'll get the experience. They're usually a better team than the Sabres. and they're probably going into the playoffs, if not deep.
The only way I see this happening is if like Levi has a terrible stint with the Sabres. Like, let's say if the Sabres say, hey, we have to call up Levi because, Luukkonen hasn't been great. Ellis is probably not going to be great. So Buffalo is in a bit of a game of musical chairs in this position. So because you have Luukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you have Colton Ellis, and then you have Alex Lyon, and then you have David Levi, who's the fourth wheeler in the situation. So what I don't understand about the Buffalo Sabres is why is it that they consistently bring in below average goaltender journeyman? You get a guy who you quote said you've always wanted to get, according to the media, in like the executives like Kevin Adams and whatnot. He says, oh, this is a goalie we've been eyeing on. You're full of shit. You only did it because Georgia sucked.
Oh, we got a new comment again.
Yep. This one is from, I think you were showing that too.
You go ahead.
Yep. This one's from Jay. He says, what about the Jets? Now we look at Connor, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Velarde, and Neil Pionk, and until 2030, and I have faith, and let's see what happens Thursday against Dallas. See, okay, I have a very interesting comment about the Jets. The Jets, to me, are, on paper, a good team. I am not taking anything away from the Jets. They're a very good team. However, the only question you have to think to yourself, because I'm assuming you're a Jets fan, which version of the Jets are you going to get this year? Are you going to get the one that's going to be in the bottom of the NHL? Or are you going to get last year's team where you make it into the second round of the playoffs and you win the President's Trophy? Which version of the Jets are you going to get?
I think you're going to get a good version of the Jets only because you got Hellebuck there. He is a world-class goalie, one of the best in the league. Unfortunately, I feel like every single year by the time they get to the playoffs, he has nothing left in the tank. And he's a different goalie in the playoffs, and they're usually ousted quite quickly in the playoffs.
Usually I look at it from this perspective. The Jets, like I said, the big thing with the Jets is they have to be consistently good because of the idea that, you have to try to get that Atlanta Thrasher stench off of you, for one, because I know it's been like 15 years. But the thing with the Jets is that they're in a very small market. Yes, they have good players, but you have to be consistently good. You can't just be good and then be bad again because you're going to lose the audience because tickets have gotten very expensive in Winnipeg for a very long time. And it's almost hard to sell out. Like, I know they're in the smallest market in the league and the smallest arena, smallest everything. I understand that. But you're talking about a huge demand from a small market team like Winnipeg in order for them to be consistently good.
Yeah. But I think they'll be one of the top teams out there. So
I'm not sure, but I'm willing to give Scott Arniel another chance because Tom and I did laugh at him for when he got hired, and then he basically just fooled us by basically saying, wow, we look like a bunch of damn idiots when they hired him. And it's like, Scott Arniel, why didn't you hire anybody else? And then all of a sudden we find out, okay, it's the system. And I don't know if he's a passenger. I don't know.
Wasn't he like a really good Rochester American?
He was also a very good Buffalo Sabre.
I think he was better Rochester American.
Yeah, I agree. But to answer your question, Jay, yes, I think the Jets, depending what version of them you get, I think they're going to be competitive. So we'll see. But, so speaking of the Jets, because of relocation and because of expansion and all that shit, I'm not saying the Jets are going anywhere. That's not what I'm focusing on. The main thing I want to focus on, and I'm sure you've heard it, you've probably been living under a rock, Damien, is expansion. The big magic E word, expansion.
Don't we have enough NHL teams already?
Well, you would think so, but no. No, we don't have enough, actually. But here's the tip of the iceberg. So, according to David Pagnotta of the fourthperiod.com, and I understand he's not the most credible guy in the world, but bear with me here. He said that the NHL is going to be expanding to Atlanta and Houston, or as, quote, as much of a lock as Utah was. And Pagnotta also believes that Arizona is right in the mix for an expansion franchise as well. And he basically came out on record and said that the NHL wants to have 36 teams in the NHL.
I just want to see a Stanley Cup for the Islanders in my lifetime, and now we're going to be increasing those odds. I don't like it. But I mean, if we're going to expand the NHL, I mean, obvious place is give the Quebec Nordiques their team back. Like I know Gary Bettman is so gung-ho about expanding the NHL in the U.S. It's Canada's sport. It's Canada's sport. I'm sorry. Give them their team back.
Right. I agree with you. I think the Nordiques should come back. But, in a way, it's kind of fucked up because Gary Bettman for years have said, we can't move them there because of the Canadian dollar. Bullshit. It has nothing to do with the Canadian dollar. Like, I know it's not great right now, but you could have moved them when you had the chance. And instead of, putting a team in fucking Arizona, that dude will never give up. Until he steps out as commissioner, he will always prioritize Arizona over Quebec City.
Oh, I know. They could put another team in Ontario and Hamilton. They've talked about it for years, but they don't want to mess with the Canadian Sabres fan base.
Yeah, it's tough. We actually do have a comment. And the question is from Jay. Once again, he says, do you guys feel Jonathan Toews can get his groove back? I'm going to say no. I think he's washed up. Yeah,
I'm going to say he's been out of hockey a little too long. Kind of a weird illness he had too. Long COVID, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I don't see him coming back. As I've actually played with a dude, and I mean it's not really equivalent, but I mean with roller hockey that had long COVID, and I don't know, he just could never get back up to where he used to be.
Well, I mean, sometimes it happens better depending on the person, I guess, but we're not here to talk about medical shit. This is hockey, motherfuckers.
I'm a doctor. You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. But then that makes me an astrophysicist.
Yeah, there you go. Rocket science.
Exactly.
But if I got to hear expansion in Atlanta one more time, I can't. Like, how many times are we going to put a team in Atlanta?
Expansion.
It's not working. It's not working. I'm fine with trying Houston. I'm fine with trying Indianapolis. I'm fine with trying any of those other cities. Like, why do we keep going back to the same cities?
Because Bettman believes in them. Bettman believes Arizona is a hockey market. And it took 28 fucking years for everyone to acknowledge this is shit.
Yeah, no. It's time to just cut the cord on that. It's just dumb at this point.
It's like, give up. No one wants hockey in Arizona. I mean, I'm not saying that there are diehard Coyotes fans because I feel bad for all three of them.
Oh, no, there are. There are. We've gone through it as Islander fans. How many times we were moving to Kansas City and stuff like that. So, I mean, we've been there. We've been there, done that. But, I mean, with the salary cap going up and all these crazy contracts that have been signed recently, how is a hockey team in Atlanta or Arizona going to generate enough money to pay contracts like that? They're just not.
Well, it's all about the Canadian dollar, Chief. That's all I could say. And Jay, just to reassure our claim, he said big health scare plus the broken wrist. I actually forgot about the broken wrist with Toews. So sorry about that. And he also left this out because your favorite E word was thrown in the mix tonight.
What's that? I can't even
laughing
see it.
Emoji.
Oh, I'm like, what is...
He's laughing. He's talking to you, Mr. McRutt. He's talking to you.
How do you feel about these massive contracts that have been getting signed recently? Because everybody was looking forward to this unprecedented free agent class of next year, and now they're all slowly disappearing.
What's that meme of that guy from that show on Sci-Fi Channel?
Oh, I did see that. I saw that.
Totally made up. Fiction. Yeah. False. Mm-hmm. Things like that. I forget his name, but I saw the meme earlier today because I think Bleacher Report on Open Ice actually posted it, and I'm thinking, yep, that sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, Eichel just went off the market today, $13.5 million per
for 8 years, which is a lot of fucking money. He's making $1 million more than McDavid.
Yeah, but we all know why McDavid is doing this.
because
I got to commend him for it. He's saying to Edmonton, I'll sign for less money for 2 more years. You go out and get some players to help me. That's what you have. And if he leaves after this, that's on them.
Yeah.
Edmonton, this is your shot. You got 2 years.
Exactly. The window is very closed if McDavid does not win a cup in 3 years. And to be honest with you, I could see Edmonton go back, but I don't think they would win a cup. I'm not going to lie. Connor McDavid's already been to the finals twice. He's a choke artist.
I think you can't do it all, though. One person in hockey is not going to do it all.
Yep. And we actually have 2 more comments that came in. The first one's from Jay. He said, perhaps the Jets could put in forward Lambert to make the difference Thursdays in the lineup, and don't think he will play, but it's possible. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't really follow the Winnipeg Jets as much as I do like with the New York Islanders or with the Buffalo Sabres because of our other co-host, Tom Wujak, who's not here right now. But I will say I do like Connor Hellebuyck. I think he's a beast. I saw the Jets last year in Seattle. They played great. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, if Jay's going to be a regular here, then then I'll follow the Jets a little bit more.
Definitely. And another comment we got is from Edward Blasek again. He said, the bigger the contract, the less talent around you. Exactly. But here's the issue with Edmonton. You're paying $12.5 million to the best player on the planet, and yet you go around and you pay everyone else within that core. You give a 7x7 to Jake Wallman. You give a 3-year deal. I forget how much it is for Matthias Ekholm. And then you get Connor McDavid signed. But I feel like Edmonton set themselves up to a point where they're not going to be able to be that as competitive or flexible for that matter. Because remember, this is the final year of the current CBA. So if you want to sign a player to an 8-year deal, this is your chance.
Yeah. And who's their goalie now?
For Edmonton?
Yeah.
Stuart Skinner.
Still?
Well, yeah, they didn't trade him. The talk was, and it's actually funny because I was talking to Gil Martin about this when we did the interview last week, and he mentioned that over the summer that the Oilers were, inquiring about Ilya Sorokin, and I just shrugged it off because it was never going to happen. If they were actually serious, they should have done it by now. But
what were they going to give the Islanders that the Islanders would even want?
I have no idea because I would imagine they probably would have given up like a top prospect, maybe a caliber NHL player, and a first-round pick.
Okay, but that's going to be it's going to be a low first-round pick.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Islanders already have 2 first-rounders, one for them their own, and the one they got from the Avs for Brock Nelson.
Oh, we got another comment here.
Read it up. Let's see what we got.
Let's see. We got from Jay, Kings Golden Knights. Who you guys got?
I
think the Golden Knights will take it.
I agree. I'm going to go with Vegas. And plus, Jack Eichel is definitely hyped up after getting paid today. He got a big boy contract. But there actually is another player that I do want to mention real quick who also got paid. Kyle Connor. He got an 8-year deal with about $12.5 million, which is a lot of money. And then prior to that was Kirill Kaprizov, who got $17 million for 8 fucking years with the Minnesota Wild. 8 years for 17 for Kirill the Thrill.
Well, it's like I say. I mean, how much longer do we see the first $20 million player per year?
Depends on the age. Because honestly, it feels like to me, I mean, you might disagree with me, and that's okay, is I feel like players who get paid that exorbitant amount of money in that caliber, that's no longer going to be an elite club. Because if you think of the star players, this offseason that was supposed to come up at 26, it was supposed to be, all those guys that we're talking about, Eichel, McDavid, Kaprizov, Connor, Kopitar, but we know he's going to retire. So it doesn't even fucking matter. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, now it's just dead in the water. It's basically like if you send a bill to Congress and say, I want to do this, it passes the House, but it doesn't pass the Senate. It's down on arrival. So that's basically the equivalent of the 2036 free agent. You project your lineup, but then you look into the class and you're like, fuck, this is terrible. It's like this year.
Yeah. And then the other story was Logan Cooley rejecting Utah's offer.
Yes, that's something I wanted to talk about. So Logan Cooley got offered a $10.5 million deal by the Utah Mammoth, and he said no, because my guess is that he wants to outbid himself, and he wants to make sure Utah is getting their money's worth, and based on what they're paying him for.
I don't know. It's a weird rejection, though. I thought it was a pretty good contract for a young player. He's put up decent numbers in Utah. I mean, Utah hasn't been a powerhouse out there, so he's almost a point a game, which is pretty good.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying, like, the thing with Utah is they've only played in the league now for a year, but I don't think that many people.
Liar, they were the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to get rid of the Arizona, vibes out of you before you get any elite players. I mean, granted, I remember when I did the show in June before we rebranded during the offseason, it was the JJ Peterka trade, and I remember sitting here on my desk in this show with my buddy Tom Bujak, aka the Ginger Hammer. We were talking about this trade, and I remember laughing. And he's like, "Why the fuck did you not get the 4th overall pick?" And I remember just sitting on my desk, and I'm just fucking laughing because of how stupid that was of the Sabres to trade a caliber player like that in JJ Peterka. So instead of actually giving him what he wanted, you trade him to an up-and-coming team like Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing it out there. But we actually have 2 comments going on. So one from Jay is, I love how Cooley is betting on himself. This is very true because Logan Cooley is a very good player, but I think he wants to make more. So let's say if they have if they fall short of the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs, and the next thing you know, he says, I want to make $12.5 million. There you go. There's your bet. And then Edward says, who wants to play for Utah? Well, you have to earn it. I mean, people said this for years about Florida with the Panthers. Who the fuck wants to play in Florida? Now you look at them. They have 2 Stanley Cups now. You have to build that foundation. And then Jay with another comment. He said he posted 65 points last season. Got to respect that. But if he wants more than $9 million a year, he has to perform this year. Yeah, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. He has to perform. He has to get at least above 60 points. And in order to do that, he's got to be a point per player game if he wants that kind of money. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you can't have it, because it's kind of silly, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fucking silly. But at the end of the day, though, I am very excited. And I actually do want to give a quick shout out to a guy that actually allowed us to do the art cover for tonight's show. And I'm sure if you want to guys give him a follow on Instagram, his name is Eric Poole, which is at epool88 on Instagram. And you may have seen some of his work. He does a lot of like NHL or sports like artists, like drawings, like cartoon drawings of like every major league sport, from the NFL to the NHL, the NBA and the MLB, or any other league for that matter. Give him a look. At that point in time, I actually asked him if we could borrow his cover, and I was able to. Fortunately, I got approval for it, and I'm giving him a shout out on the show tonight.
Great. Yeah, it was great cover art.
Definitely. And we got another comment from Mr. Blasick. He said, in time for sure, but not shocking to see someone reject that kind of an offer. No different than the Sabres having to overpay for talent. Yeah, that's the problem with the Sabres. When was the last time the Sabres actually paid for talent like that and said, yes, we want to keep you? I mean, Dahlin is exceptional, because if they didn't pay Dahlin, all of Buffalo would be burnt to the ground by now.
Well, it's the small market teams. The small market teams always have to overpay.
Exactly.
And then it's the big market teams like the Rangers, Boston, that get the hometown discounts.
Usually. Let's see. Jay says, I got the Rangers over the Sabres.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
I got to go with the Rangers. I hate to say it, but I have to agree with them.
It's the Sabres home opener tomorrow.
But, yeah, they play the Rangers, but unfortunately, I got to go with Jay. I think the Rangers are going to win that game. The Sabres right now are not very good, and they haven't been for a long time.
Well, the Rangers better win that game after losing to Pittsburgh 3-0. I mean, they can't start 0-2.
Well, yeah, objectively speaking, at that point, you know what I mean? It's only a cakewalk at that point. I mean, unless you play like Igor Shesterkin or something, I don't know. We'll see. But bottom line, fuck the New York Rangers. Fuck everything that franchise represents. That's all I'm just going to say.
Ditto.
Yep. So we are going to actually cut down the show to baseball now. And we don't have a lot to talk about, but I think it's worth mentioning because for the most part, after we do baseball, we're going to wrap up the show with our guest of the week next week. And I gave you guys enough time to think of who our guest is going to be on IP6 After Dark next week. So if you have a thought in mind, feel free to say it in the comment section. I gave you guys 3 hints. So if you haven't figured it out by now, we'll tell you who it is after the baseball section. You ready, Damien?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
All right. So the ALDS. Holy fuck.
Well, my pick coming out of the AL was the Jays.
Yes.
And they were looking really strong. I thought they were going to sweep the Yankees. And the Yankees came back. So they stayed alive for at least one more day.
Yeah, I did. And I said the Red Sox were going to play the Jays in the ALDS. The Red Sox decided to lay the biggest egg with a rotten ointment of yolk inside that egg. It was disgusting. It was shit. They played like ass. And, yeah, the Red Sox were terrible.
Well, it's weird because I'm an NL person more than an AL. And all my AL picks mostly were correct. NL? No. I was terrible.
Oh, yeah, no. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe you can correct me, Damien. Didn't I say the Guardians were going to win last week against Detroit?
Yeah, we both did.
We both said Detroit.
And now Detroit might make it. Detroit might make it all the way. Who knows?
Well, right now that series is tied at 2 games apiece. And let me tell you, winner take all is tomorrow night because the Tigers actually evened the series at 2 games apiece. And Game 5 will be played at 4:40 in the afternoon on Friday. That's going to be the winner take all game. So by the time we get back here next week, that is going to be a dogfight with whoever they play, whether it's the Yankees or the Blue Jays.
Well, like I said, I had the Jays going all the way. I still think they have a chance. On the other side, I'm hoping Milwaukee gets there, although the Dodgers are looking strong. They're just steamrolling the Phillies right now.
Yeah. So going back to the National League Conference Series, let's just say that I was terrible last week because I predicted the Dodgers to beat the Reds, which was unsurprising. We knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew that was happening. I think that's all we got.
But I did say that Philly was going to win that series. I mean, they still have a shot, but it feels like it's a long, distant memory at this point. It feels like a distant memory.
Hey, I had the Padres going to the World Series, and they lost to the Cubs.
Yeah. Oh, my God. San Diego. Jesus Christ. What's it going to take, Padres? What is it going to fucking take?
I don't know.
You just lost to a team that had the worst trade deadline. That didn't even do anything for that matter. And now look at you. You literally went and got Mason Miller from the A's. You don't do shit. And you also have guys like Machado and Tatis, Jackson Merrill. You have Xander Bogaerts. Jesus Christ. What is it going to take the Padres to get over that hump? What's it going to fucking take?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I can't even have an answer for you.
I don't either, unfortunately. And they have a lot of good talent, but they just seem to love to choke. They're like the Ravens. They just choke in the playoffs with high expectations every year. Jay said, look, it's strong tonight for the Jays. If they can hold on to it, that would be great. Please eliminate the Yankees. And he also said the Cubs won. That's a shocker today. Oh, yeah, it's a shock, all right, because apparently the Cubbies are alive. And whoever wins that game on Friday, that is going to be a shocker. You know, whether it's Milwaukee or it's going to be Chicago. Someone's going to win the World Series this year. I don't care who it is as long as it's not Philly or the Yankees.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I will throw the Dodgers in there too. I don't want to see them win either. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I will say, if everything stands the way it does, who do you think has the best chance to win the World Series?
The Jays. The Jays for sure. I'm still sticking with the Jays. So I'm hoping for Jays, maybe Milwaukee, and then I don't really care who wins, but I still think it's going to be the Jays.
Yeah, I said, if I remember correctly, I said the Mariners and the Phillies, and I said Philly was going to win the World Series.
Yep.
So there's that. I mean, right now they're
How you feeling about that?
About my prediction, aside the fact that I don't know shit about baseball. Baseball is so unpredictable. I can't put my finger on it usually. Like, I do watch baseball, but as far as like my predictions, I was so off. As far as like, because here's the thing, I genuinely thought that Philly was going to win the World Series. They had all this talent, and they're getting the ass kicked by the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. Jay says he'd love to see Milwaukee win, so I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, I wouldn't mind it. Jays in Milwaukee, it's good.
Okay, so if everything stands the way it does, I'm going to still stand by the prediction I said for the American League. I still say the Mariners, but I think the Mariners are going to go to the World Series to represent the American League. National League is up in the air. It's either going to be the Brewers at this point or the Dodgers. But I'm going to say the Dodgers and Mariners in the World Series. But Milwaukee could very well, upset the Dodgers for all we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yep. So we got two more comments from both of our watchers. Thank you very much. Jay said, can we talk about why the Phillies always choked postseason last year, and now no wonder Harper gets booed? Because he doesn't perform in the playoffs. He does not perform in the playoffs. It's very, very straightforward. Bryce Harper has signed that big contract in, 2018, 2019?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I don't know. The pitching always seems to let them down in the postseason, and they don't get the timely hits. Yeah,
and guys like Harper, Schwarber, Alec Bohm, all these guys, they don't do shit in the playoffs. They don't do shit as far as, trying to show up and whatnot. And you wonder why they lost to the fucking Mets in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the NL East in the last 25 years, the Phillies have 2 championships. Every single team in that division has at least 1 championship in the last 25 years, except for the Mets.
Well, unfortunately, the Mets have their own problems. Yep. And Edward said, once you get into the playoffs, it's anyone's game. Crazy shit happens in the playoffs. You, sir, are correct. Baseball and hockey, to me, are the 2 most unpredictable sports you could possibly watch. Because everybody says, at least in MLB playoffs, that they always project this team's going to win, this team's going to win, this team's going to win. And then they don't do it. And then it's some bumfuck team like the Blue Jays who come out of nowhere and they win the fucking World Series. And if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago, Damian, didn't the Diamondbacks knock out the Dodgers in the playoffs?
I believe so. I mean, you just got to get hot at the right time. So it's almost like that with almost any sport. You just got to get hot at the right time.
Oh, yeah. Usually that's how it's supposed to be. But as far as like the playoffs go, yes, it's anyone's game. And I do agree with that 100%. I'm a very traditional guy when it comes to things like that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And speaking of throwing it out there, what do you think of the possibility of Albert Pujols becoming the next manager of the LA Angels?
I mean, we've talked off the air about this. I don't like making superstar players coaches, managers, anything like that. It's usually the headier players. In hockey, it's like your 6th defenseman. In baseball, it's your catcher that make the best managers and coaches. However, he's been in their system for 3 years now. I think he's working with Dominican Republic players. I think that's what I read. And they also actually have another former Angel that's up for consideration too, Torrey Hunter. That's also in their system. Yeah, it's also in their system. I know the owner is really high on Pujols, so and that's what he wants.
Well, here's the thing. Artie Moreno thinks that he's Jerry Jones.
I think most people know Jerry Jones now.
Well, yeah, everybody tries to emulate Jerry. Of course, Jerry Boy tries to emulate everyone else. Well, Jerry has his own ego. Artie Moreno has his own ego. So in that mindset, it makes me wonder at that point, why exactly is Pujols the guy and not anybody else? You could have gone out and got, you could have got Mike Scioscia again if he really wanted to. But no, he doesn't want Mike Scioscia. He wants a yes man to be the manager because the other managers like Brad Osmus and then whoever the Angels recently had, Ron Washington, yeah, he's gone because of health problems. But the Angels are a clusterfuck.
I mean, I guess you're going to sell tickets just by having him as the manager. People are going to want to come out and see Pujols again.
But why would you want to hire somebody who's one of the greatest third basemen of all time? Why would you want to bring in somebody as the manager of a shitty franchise where you never saw the light of a day with them in the playoffs?
I don't know. Sell tickets. That's what it comes down to.
You might as well just have Mike Trout retire and make him the GM. You might as well do that.
You might see that next. Yeah, might see that next.
That's fucking cruel. Like, that's fucking crazy, honestly. For all we know, I mean, winter's coming pretty soon, and we all know what happens in the wintertime. Baseball is quieting down. Free agency comes in, comes and goes. There's always going to be something. And I think you said it last week that the Yankees are getting cheaper. The Mets are starting to spend more. I'm curious, like, who's going to really be out there, because I can't really think of anybody on the top of my head that screams, we need to get this guy.
No, I mean, for the Mets, it's going to be Alonso and see if they could bring him back. I don't think they're going to do it for some reason. I think he's going to go to the Yankees.
I don't know. I mean,
breaks my heart, though.
It breaks my heart, too. I would hate to see that, but there's no loyalty in baseball. There's
no loyalty in sports. I mean, there's no loyalty in jobs nowadays, though. So people people don't really stay with a company their entire life and retire and get a pension anymore. So it's, there's no loyalty in anything, really.
That's true.
Except if you're Lou Lamoriello, there's loyalty.
Yeah, well, Alex Bregman might be available too. So we'll see what happens with that. So, yeah. So, okay, so we're getting towards the end of the show, and I mentioned earlier that we're going to announce our guests for I-86 After Dark next weekend. So to give you guys a recap of who the guest is going to be, and if you guessed it right, congratulations, you're smart motherfuckers. So the first one is that he played for the Buffalo Bills. He was the right-hand man for Bruce Smith in the 90s, and he won 2 Super Bowls later in his career. Do you have any ideas who it is, Mr. McRutt?
Besides you telling me earlier?
Yeah, aside from me telling you earlier. So,
no, I wouldn't have guessed it. So I actually had to look. I had to look him up. So, but quite an impressive resume. I think the stat that jumped out at me was he's tied for second on the list all time with 6 Super Bowl appearances. And that's with Adam Vinatieri, and I think there was one other person.
Tom Brady, of course.
Well, Tom Brady's got like 10 appearances, but
that's true too. But I didn't think about that.
He was up there with like if I could look it up real fast. Don Beebe. I don't know why that just disappeared from my head. Another former Bill.
Yeah, but no. So you guys ready to hear who the guest is going to be? Because I'm sure you guys are. Because believe me, we're in it for it. So let me see if I can find something here to get the sound going, because I'm trying to make it really progressively interesting. So here we go. And our guest of the week is Michael Lodish. So if you guessed Michael Lodish, he will be on I-86 After Dark next Wednesday. So once again, he will be on the show next Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you want to see that interview, it'll be up on Spotify exactly at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch it on YouTube, just wait until after midnight. on the following week. So the 16th of October at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to listen to the full interview on YouTube. So there you go. Our I-86 After Dark guest next week is Michael Lodish. So what do you think?
Like I said, impressive resume. Like I said, I had to look him up. I'm not as big of a Bills fan as you are. So I didn't really get into the Bills until I moved up here, and that was unfortunately after his playing career. So that was probably like around 2000. So, but 6 Super Bowl appearances, that's pretty remarkable. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering how, especially for like a lineman, to keep himself in shape. What did he do in the off season? Did he just was like, am I just going to sit back and relax? Because I mean, they went to 4 straight Super Bowls, so there really wasn't much of an off season.
He actually went to 6 because he won 2 more.
He won
2 more with the Broncos, and he won a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl rings with them.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like during his Bills playing career, just going to 4 straight. Because that doesn't give you much time to recoup between seasons.
Yeah, no, but I'm very excited to talk to Mike Lodish. And you know what's really interesting is I talked to him a few weeks ago about like getting him on the show, and he was a little bit of a hard ass about it, but I was able to convince him to come on the show, and he was really cool. I will say, spoiler alert, he's a very energetic guy. He's very fucking energetic. You'll see the difference between a future guest who will announce after this one. We actually have another guest coming on. We have like 11 different people coming on. You'll have plenty of interviews to listen to throughout the season. But Mike Lodish is going to be the next guest on I-86 After Dark next Wednesday. So me and Damien will be right here next Wednesday, right back at this table, doing our usual shenanigans. And yeah, that's about it at that point. What do you think?
I'm working on my interview skills, so that's why I haven't been in any of these interviews yet. So
yeah, you'll get your chance. I promise. Your time will come. You gotta learn from me and Mr. Gingerhammer over here, and
there you go.
Kind of just take it all in, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, we just want to say thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and me and Damien had a blast, and can't wait to come back here next week. So once again, if you want to see the Michael Lodish interview separately, which it will be, Spotify at 8 p.m. next week on Spotify, 12 a.m. on the 16th at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So is there anything else you want to say, Damien, before we get out of here for the night?
No, I appreciate everybody hanging with us for, the past hour and a half. The comments were great. Brings a different element to the show. Congratulations on being a father soon.
Absolutely.
Huge news. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hockey tomorrow night. I'll be chilling out in the garage on my projector, maybe get a fire going. Can't wait.
Damn right, man. That sounds like a hell of a time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. And of course, some beer.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna try to get the Islander game on my phone because my wife's gonna be watching the Eagles-Giants game on the big TV. So I'm gonna stream the Islander game on my phone, and I'm gonna watch it on the side. But don't you worry, everything will come in play. And I'm gonna be up at 9:30 on. Actually, I have to go to bed at 9:30 tomorrow night. And then 10 a.m. is where I go to Atlanta for World 32. So I'm very, very excited to do that, do the editing process and all that shit. I can't wait to do it. I'm very excited.
Have a safe trip. Enjoy Atlanta.
I certainly will. So once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week with the Michael Lodish interview. And take care of yourselves. And let's go Islanders.
All right. Go Isles.